The Other Side of Things. Written by Asthmatic B. Read by Hijinks Audio. Chapter 11. Of Endings and Beginnings. Summary. As some things come to an end, new beginnings await. Yagi Toshinori had dreamed of what it would be like to see his nemesis perish, to finally see his master avenged, for that infernal smile to finally just stop. He sees the shot more than hears it. Toshinori had heard from Aizawa about the boy's shooting skills, but it was something else to see it with his own blood-clouded eyes. There must have been a good distance between them and Midoriya, and he himself could barely make out the weapon in his hands. Toshinori thinks that if All for One still had eyes, they would be wide now as he staggers, likely more from the shock than the wound itself. He will have nightmares of what followed. The thing about immortality quirks is that once they disappear, all that borrowed time returns in one fell swoop, your true age finally catching up with you. The boogeyman of the underworld had lived more than 200 years. He had seen the dawn of quirks, of heroes and villains, witnessed the birth of a new era. But nothing is forever. Toshinori can't say if the ash that remains makes for a fitting end to him. Naomasa waits for the EMT to give the Todoroki boy the all clear before he approaches. There is dust in his hair and a streak of blood on his cheek, just under his scar. The worn leather jacket he is wearing looks at odds with the rest of his outfit, and he dimly thinks he recognizes it from somewhere before it clicks. How nice of Midoriya to lend you his jacket. Naomasa had seen the boy as he was loaded into an ambulance, unconscious. There was no way he had loaned Todoroki anything but the blood on his face. Todoroki blinks at him like a cat, pulling the jacket closed around his chest. Naomasa thinks he sees something glint underneath it, but doesn't pry. What's going to happen to him? He raises an eyebrow. Did he do something? The only heroes close enough to Midoriya's inquiry over the comlink had been All Might and Gran Torino. The others either blown far enough away to be out of range or unconscious. The only ones who had seen the shot were Yaoyorozu, Todoroki, All Might, and the League of Villains that had disappeared through a portal made by Kurogiri shortly after. There was no body, and no one could find the remnants of the bullet or the casing, or find the gun. There is no evidence and no witnesses if you let it drop, Naomasa, Toshinori had told him, blue eyes hollow and haunted and incredibly tired and relieved. Let us have this. Todoroki pauses, blinks again. His arms cross over his chest and his left hand twitches to the back, as if itching to make sure something is there and hidden. Naomasa recognizes the way the jacket bulges towards the boy's back. He didn't stop them. True. Naomasa concedes, hands in the pockets of his trench coat. His elbow taps against his holstered gun, almost at his back. Aizawa might be a bit angry with him, but knowing him, he'll be glad he kept you kids out of trouble. Todoroki nods. Is there anything else I'd like to? Go meet your friends, yes, I imagine. The boy seems bemused by the choice of words, and at his interruption. I'll drive you to the hospital, if you want. Midoriya is going to be at the same one as your classmates, and it might be preferable to being in public right now. Both their gazes flicker to the police barrier, and the flashing lights of cameras and shouted questions of the reporters, and Todoroki sighs in the way Naomasa has seen from underground heroes and sleep-deprived officers. Thank you, Detective. Izuku's gaze flickers to the door of his hospital room as it opens, and isn't surprised by Detective Tsukauchi stepping in, followed by Eraserhead. He is momentarily surprised by All Might and Gran Torino coming through, though mostly because last he'd seen them, they looked as dead on their feet as he had felt before he'd been knocked out cold by his concussion and the after-effects of getting his quirk taken away. The detective smiles as he meets his eyes. Glad to see you're awake, Midoriya-kun. Something in his expression must have given him away, because Tsukauchi adds on. The students are fine, by the way. It was quite nice of you to loan the Todoroki kid your jacket. Ah, so that's where his gun went. Not that he really understood what made the other teenager cover for him like that. The other three men throw the detective strange looks, but don't question him as they take seats. Izuku had wondered why the nurse had brought in so many chairs and placed them facing the foot of his bed earlier. So that's what this was. Now, problem child, Eraserhead starts, eyes narrowed and bloodshot. Care to explain why my students were at the Gnomon factory bailing out Bakugo and Todoroki? Izuku shrugs and immediately regrets it. His bruised ribs really didn't like the movement. They weren't going to not go, and I figured they needed someone who wasn't an idiot with them. Interesting.
considering there was not one brain cell between the lot of you.
I resent that.
Now, Aizawa, young Midoriya, let's not blow this out of proportion,
All Might interjected, the sleeves of his oversized shirt flapping with the movement of his hands.
The important thing is that it all worked out, isn't it? Without them present, things would have been quite a lot worse. Besides,
Izuku adds, certainly not pouting,
you never rescinded my permission to supervise them and their quirk usage. None of what we did was illegal. You always have to think you're the smartest person in the room, don't you?
Eraserhead was positively seething at this point.
You all could have died. You could have seriously obstructed the mission. It's a wonder no one worthwhile died, and the only one who lost his quirk is a kid that was slowly dying from having it in the first place. I took a calculated risk. And I'm starting to think that you're really bad at math for a genius, you stupid brat.
Eraserhead yells as he gets up.
Stop treating yourself as expendable. You are lucky Todoroki cushioned your impact, or you would be dead now. And what good would that have done, huh? All the fucking work we did on convincing the commission would have been for nothing, and for what? For you to martyr yourself? As a fuck you to All For One? What's your fucking goal with the suicide mission, you brat?
Izuku was about to retort when Eraserhead's words finally sink in.
What are you talking about?
We know you went there with the goal to take All For One's quirk away, kid. Gran Torino finally speaks up, one eye obscured by bandages. Sasuke confirmed that you worked on the quirk erasing bullets for the Yakuza, and Toshinori saw you shoot. Tsukauchi sighs, obviously giving up on trying to pretend they didn't know. Can't say it wasn't a smart move, but the execution could have been a bit more graceful.
Izuku.
Eraserhead speaks up again, quieter now, and Izuku is startled at the use of his given name.
You're usually more careful than this, so why?
He stops himself, blinks, then cocks his head.
Ah, I see.
Izuku shifts, suddenly uncomfortable. He hates feeling like people see through him, like he's losing control of the situation.
What? You care about them?
He scoffs. Oh, please.
Oh no, you're not getting out of this, brat.
Eraserhead interrupts him.
The moment Ida was in danger, you rushed towards him, despite being unable to use your quirk. You lost a finger saving his life. You shot Anomu in the air to save me. You killed a member of the League of Villains, knowing it could compromise you to save a single kid. You helped save Todoroki and Bakugo, who you hate, and shot and killed All For One in plain sight of the League, blowing your cover. You care about these kids.
Izuku glares at him.
I don't. Oh, I think you do,
Eraserhead says, a smirk curling his lips.
And they do too, you know. They're all crowding the damn waiting room, hoping to get to visit you and make sure you're okay.
Fuck, he breathes, running a hand through his hair.
Todoroki committed a felony to save your ass.
Izuku grips at his bedsheets, glaring at his lap. They're stupid if they do. I'm not worth caring about.
And why is that?
Tsukauchi speaks up.
Why shouldn't they care? Why are you not worth caring about, Midoriya?
He scoffs bitterly, rolling his eyes and ignoring the slight dizziness that brings.
Oh, I don't know. I've committed several murders, for one. I've experimented on humans. I've helped several criminal and villain organizations commit countless crimes.
His voice dips.
I'm a villain.
I don't think so, All Might says, his voice uncharacteristically serious, and Izuku looks up to meet his eyes in surprise.
A villain wouldn't rush to someone's aid and risk life and limb to save them, or save a hero's life. A villain wouldn't save a little child from a murderer, or rid the world of the worst villain to ever exist. Young Midoriya, I don't think 1A sees you as a villain, or young Kota. Frankly,
his blue eyes twinkle as he shoots a glance at Eraserhead.
I think Aizawa-kun and I don't see you as a villain either. What you did was quite the opposite, in fact.
Oh please, you can't be saying.
But we are,
Eraserhead says, sounding incredibly tired.
You're a hero, kid, and we've been working our asses off to try and convince the commission to let you into the hero course. Then you go and make us doubt ourselves halfway through with the whole traitor business, and then you go and be a fucking martyr and almost die. You are almost as bad as All Might.
I do resent that, Aizawa-kun, All Might interjects. But there is no malice in his words. He turns to Izuku. He doesn't really know what to say.
Do you remember the first time we spoke?
He nods mutely, not sure where the man is going.
Well, I recall you asking me if I had a successor yet. You said no.
All Might nods, an uncharacteristically small smile on his face.
I think I found one, though.
Thank you for listening to the final chapter in this series. I can't believe we're finished already. This is the first Podfic series that I've ever finished, and I'm very excited about that, and I can't wait to do more. Please remember to leave comments and kudos on Asthmatic B's original work. because without them and without their writing, I wouldn't have been able to create the series. As always, I have GoFundMe links in my description and my bio for families in Palestine who really need some help, so if you could donate or share the links, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you in the next podfic I do. Have a lovely day!